Welcome back to Cowboys News TV. I'm glad you're here because we've got a stacked episode. The whole Dak spitting kerfuffle. New details about an alleged Eagles offer for Micah Parsons. Sam Williams' brutally honest reaction. And a heartening update on CeeDee Lamb that Cowboys fans are going to love. I'll give you straight talk on all of it. What matters, what's noise, and what to watch this week. Real quick, if you're new here or you love raw Cowboys takes, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Our goal is 16,000 subscribers, and every single one of you helps us get there. All right, short roadmap. First, I'll knock out the Dak situation. Why I think it's been blown way out of proportion. Then we'll look at the Parsons trade chatter and Sam Williams' response. And I'll close with CeeDee's half-day work and why it matters for the upcoming game. Before we dive in, real fast, I want to know what you think. Did this Dak clip deserve national freakout? Type yes or no in the comments right now. I'll be reading. One thing to set straight from the jump. Context matters. The clip that's been replaying shows Dak spitting on the ground. Yes, but the separation between him and Jalen Carter is several yards. Officials are in the area. The feed and timing make it feel nastier than it actually is. Walt Anderson, a longtime official voice the league leans on, basically said he didn't see anything that merited additional discipline beyond the on-field penalties in that moment. So I don't think the NFL should be chasing fines or suspensions here, and I'll explain why. That doesn't mean spitting is okay. It isn't. But there's a difference between an isolated on-field shove or taunt and behavior that requires league intervention. The narrative spiral we saw came as much from rivalry heat and social media as from any truly egregious action. But for now, again, drop a yes or no below. Was this overblown? And if you're feeling me so far, smash that like button. It helps other Cowboys fans find the channel and gets us closer to 16,000 subscribers. Now let's really dig into this so-called Dak spit drama, because I want to walk you through it step by step and explain why it simply doesn't deserve the oxygen it's been getting. When you watch the replay, Dak Prescott spits on the ground after a play, and Jalen Carter just happens to be nearby, not even close enough for it to realistically land on him. We're talking several yards apart, with a referee standing right there watching the entire exchange. If Dak had actually spit on Carter, that flag is coming out instantly. Instead, what happens? Carter completely loses his cool and does the unthinkable. He spits back, directly at Dak. That's the only part of the sequence that crossed the line. Think about it. The NFL spends so much time talking about protecting the integrity of the game, cutting down on taunting, eliminating behavior that looks bad on TV. Yet, in this case, Carter's action was the only one that truly violated that standard, and even then he paid the price. Ejected, missed the rest of the game, and put his team in a tough spot. That, to me, is discipline enough. You don't need to tack on extra suspensions to make your point. Spitting is low class, sure, but football has always had heated moments. The line is simple. Celebrate with your teammates. Jaw a little. Stand tall after a big hit. That's part of the game. Spitting at another man, that's the red line. What bugs me is how the narrative immediately shifted toward Dak as if he was somehow responsible for Carter's meltdown. Eagles fans tried to spin it as Dak instigating, but let's be real. The league's own rules analyst, Walt Anderson, flat out said there was nothing worth disciplining Prescott for. And he's right. If Dak wanted to disrespect Carter, he could have done it with words, with a stare down, or with a play on the field, not by spitting from 5 yards away. The way this blew up nationally shows you how much rivalry games magnify even the smallest details. And that's why I think Cowboys fans should shrug this off and move forward. The bigger takeaway is that Dak kept his composure. He didn't escalate, he didn't retaliate, and he stayed locked in on running the offense. That matters. For a quarterback who constantly faces criticism, this is another example of him showing leadership in the heat of the moment. So here's my question for you. Should Jalen Carter have been suspended beyond The ejection? Type Y for yes or N for no down in the comments. I want to see where Cowboys Nation stands on this. And while you're at it, if you agree with me that Dak doesn't deserve an ounce of punishment here, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. That tells YouTube that Cowboys fans aren't buying the nonsense, and we're setting the record straight ourselves. All right, let's talk about this bombshell report that popped up. The Eagles allegedly tried to trade for Micah Parsons. According to Jay Glazer, Philadelphia put 2 first-round picks, a third and a fifth on the table, plus other pieces that weren't even disclosed. Now on paper, that might look like a massive haul. 2 firsts is no joke. But let's slow down here. First, you cannot, under any circumstance, send your generational defensive superstar to your biggest rival. The thought of Micah Parsons in midnight green, terrorizing Dak Prescott twice a year, is nightmare fuel for every Cowboys fan. That would be franchise malpractice, plain and simple. And second, we don't even know what those other pieces were, unless Philly was ready to toss in Jordan Davis or another high-impact player in the trenches. This was more about headlines than reality. I actually believe Glazer when he says the Eagles called, because that's who they are. They're aggressive. They'll kick the tires on anybody. But Dallas was right to hang up. There's no package you could realistically put together that would make trading Parsons too. Philadelphia makes sense. What I love is how Sam Williams addressed the situation when reporters asked him about replacing Micah. His response was blunt. Stop bringing up Micah's name. He's gone. He's in Green Bay now, and the Cowboys have to focus on who's here. He even said, if you want to ask about Micah, call his agent. For Sam, it's about the guys in the locker room, not the players who've moved on. And I think that's exactly the mindset this defense needs. That tells me Williams is growing up. He's not shying away from the responsibility, he's embracing it. He knows people will wonder how Dallas replaces that kind of production, but he also knows dwelling on Parsons won't get him a single sack. It's about flushing the past and locking in on the job right in front of you. For the defensive line, that means stepping up collectively. Dante Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence, Williams himself, all of them have to find ways to keep the pass rush dangerous. So let me put this one to you. Would you, as a fan, have taken that Eagles offer? 2 firsts, a third, and a fifth for Micah Parsons. Type yes if you think that's fair value. No if you're with me that it's crazy to even consider. And while you're commenting, drop the name of the defensive player you're most excited to see break out this year. Is it Williams? Is it someone like Osa Odigizua? Let's see who Cowboys Nation believes in. To close things out, let's talk about CeeDee Lamb, because this is the kind of update that makes you feel good as a Cowboys fan. After a tough game where the drops piled up and frustration was visible, CeeDee did exactly what you want from your number 1 receiver and your captain. He went straight back to work. On what was technically a team off day, he was out there grinding on the jugs machine, taking rep after rep to lock in his hands and erase those mistakes. That's the kind of accountability that separates stars from leaders. Plenty of players can say the right thing in a press conference. What matters is showing it, and Lamb is showing it. Now, why does this matter so much? Because football is about habits. Drops can shake confidence, but the only way to beat that is through reps and trust in your preparation. Lamb knows he let some opportunities slip away, and instead of shrugging it off, he took ownership. That's why he wears the captaincy. It's not just about highlight catches and touchdowns. It's about setting the tone for everyone in that locker room. If the guy at the top is putting in extra work, what excuse does anyone else have? And if history tells us anything, CeeDee loves playing the Giants. Dallas has consistently lit up New York's secondary, and Lamb has been at the center of it. That's why I fully expect him to bounce back in a big way this week. You've got a Giants defense that's scrappy but beatable, and you've got a motivated CeeDee Lamb who wants to remind everyone that one bad game doesn't define him. That combination usually means trouble for the opponent. So here's what I want you to do. Drop your prediction for CeeDee's stat line in the comments. Keep it simple. 3 numbers. Catches, yards, touchdowns. For example, you might type 71121 if you think he's going for 7 grabs, a $112, and a score. Let's see who gets the closest, and we'll shout out the best predictions in an upcoming video. Now, let's zoom out for a second. Between the Dak spit drama, the Micah trade rumors, Sam Williams setting the right mindset, and CeeDee showing his leadership, one theme jumps out to me: resilience. This team is under the microscope every single week. No matter what happens, the national media will spin it, rivals will twist it, and fans will debate it. But what matters is how the players respond. And right now, we're seeing maturity, focus, and a willingness to block out the noise. That should give Cowboys Nation confidence going into the matchup with the Giants and beyond. If you're riding with CeeDee too, bounce back. Type me in the comments right now. Let's send that energy into the universe. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss our live shows and breakdowns. We're pushing for 16,000 subscribers, and with your help, we'll get there. Like the video if you're proud of how these guys are handling the spotlight, and share it with another Cowboys fan who needs to hear some positive vibes. This is Cowboys News TV, and we'll be here every step of the season, keeping it real.